Since 1967, every NFL season has concluded with the crowning of a Super Bowl champion. Winning the Super Bowl is a significant achievement, but not all champion teams are equally great. In this video, I'll introduce 3 past Super Bowl winners and share both impressive and concerning statistics about each team. While every trophy sparkles brightly, the team's performances vary. By examining these details, you can decide which of these NFL teams, despite being crowned Super Bowl champions, may be considered the least deserving. The discussion will shed light on their strengths and weaknesses, allowing you to form your own opinion on the relative greatness of these teams in the history of the NFL. So let's delve into the numbers and stories behind these champions to unravel the tale of the potentially least deserving Super Bowl winner. The 2011 Giants were a truly unique team in the league's history. In the era dominated by Eli Manning, the Giants often found themselves heating up at just the right moment. However, this particular squad stood out. Unlike other Giants teams, this one had only 2 Pro Bowlers, Jason Pierre-Paul, a first-team All-Pro and safety expert, and Eli Manning himself. Surprisingly, Manning had an outstanding season, throwing for nearly 5,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, and just 16 interceptions. What's interesting is that despite Manning's stellar performance, the Giants struggled in the rushing department. Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, with 650 and 570 rushing yards respectively, formed one of the weakest rushing attacks in the league. In fact, the Giants finished dead last in both total yards and average yards per run, a stark contrast to the bruising defenses the team was known for in the 2000s and early 2010s. The regular season wasn't a walk in the park either. The Giants managed a 9-7 record, playing only 4 teams with a winning record and losing 3 out of those 4 games. Despite having one of the easiest schedules, they squeaked into the playoffs with a 0.562 win percentage. However, the playoffs marked a turning point for the Giants. They defeated the 10-6 Falcons, then went on to beat the Packers and 49ers, teams they had lost to in the regular season. Their ticket to the Super Bowl got an unexpected boost when the 49ers replacement kick returner, Kyle Williams, fumbled twice, sealing the Giants' spot in the championship game. In a Super Bowl rematch against the Patriots, the Giants emerged victorious, led by Manning. This win was even more impressive considering they faced the second hardest strength of schedule in NFL playoff history. The Giants weren't the greatest team to win a Super Bowl, especially considering how they performed earlier in the season. However, let's take a moment to look at the team they defeated in the 2001 Super Bowl, the Patriots. Before you jump to conclusions, hear me out. The 2001 Patriots were quite different from the other successful Patriots teams. Back then, Tom Brady was just an unknown 6th-round pick, and the team was led by a coach named Bill Belichick, who had a controversial reputation. At the beginning of the season, things looked bleak. The Patriots' star quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, got injured in the first 2 weeks, leaving the team in a tough spot. At that point, many considered them one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. It's crucial to note that Tom Brady wasn't the superstar he later became. In fact, the Patriots were far from being a dominant force. They were struggling, and some even thought they were the worst team in the league. However, despite all odds, they managed to turn things around and went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Once Tom Brady took over, things got better. He had a good record of 11 wins and 3 losses in the regular season, but that number is a bit misleading. In the first 10 weeks, the Patriots were 5-5 and then managed to win against some not-so-great teams. However, unlike the Giants, they beat 2 teams that were doing well at that time, so that might count for something. Despite their slightly above-average record of 11-5, they won the AFC East and got to host the divisional game against the Raiders. To be on this special list, you have to trick another team out of a big playoff win. And, well, you probably know what happened next. After beating the Raiders, they faced the Steelers in the AFC Championship game as 10-point underdogs. Now, it's important to note that the Patriots lost their Pro Bowl quarterback in Week 2. Plus, their defense wasn't very reliable for most of the year. Throughout the regular season, they gave up the 6th highest number of points in the league. No one really thought of them as a dominant team. Let's talk about that Steelers game again. Tom Brady, who was just starting as a quarterback for the first time, got hurt early in the game. Remember, he wasn't the amazing player he would later become. Drew Bledsoe came in to replace him, and the Patriots struggled but managed to win 24-17. The defense did a good job, especially against the Steelers quarterback Cordell Stewart. Now fast forward to Super Bowl 36. The Patriots were seen as huge underdogs against the powerful Rams, who were known as the greatest show on turf. The odds were against the Patriots, with the Rams favored by 14 points. The Patriots defense did well in the first half, holding off the Rams' strong offense, but the Rams started to come back. Then, there was a surprising drive led by a relatively unknown 6th-round pick at quarterback. The Patriots had a chance for a game-winning field goal, and they made it. It's worth noting that the Patriots scored fewer points than the average winning Super Bowl team. This Super Bowl win was part of a trend for Tom Brady. Despite facing tough competition on their way to the title, the Patriots' victory seemed a bit lucky. This feeling was reinforced the following year when, in the 2002 season, the same Patriots team missed the playoffs. Tom Brady didn't play like the star he would later become, missing the Pro Bowl and not showing the skills we associate with him today. Alright, so I want to share more about this Patriots team. They weren't as amazing as the teams they had later, especially those dynasty teams everyone talks about. Some people even say this team, which only managed to win one game, could be the worst Super Bowl winner ever. But hold on a sec. Before we discuss how good or not so good they were, let me first tell you about the 1970 Colts. I get it, a team from 50 years ago won't match up to a team from 2011, but I think it's fair to compare teams based on their own time. Now, when I tried to find videos to see how good this Patriots team was, there wasn't much on the internet, so we can't rely on what we see as much. Anyway, let's dive into it and chat more about the 1970 Colts. Looking at the Colts team now, they've got a really good record of 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. But that doesn't tell us everything about them. A while back, the NFL and another league, the AFL, joined forces. People thought NFL teams were generally better than AFL teams. So, since the Colts are an NFL team, this change helped them boost their win stats by playing against less skilled teams more often in the regular season. You'd think a team like the Colts, who went on to win the Super Bowl, would easily beat the slightly weaker AFL teams, right? Well, they did lose only 2 games and tied one with previous AFL teams. But many of those games had close scores, not the clear domination you'd expect from a Super Bowl winner. Similar to that Giants team, the 1970 Colts faced only 2 teams with winning records. Let's look at those games. Oh, not great. They did play the Dolphins twice that year and won one of the games. So they went 1 or 2 against teams with a winning record. Super Bowl material? Well, the Colts had the easiest regular season schedule ever for a Super Bowl champ, with an average opponent winning percentage of 35. Back in those days, playoff home field advantage rotated between teams. Why? I have no idea, but that year, the AFC East got it. So, congratulations to the Colts for getting home field advantage. The Colts won against the Bengals in their divisional match with Jess Phillips and Virgil Carter leading the way. Then, they faced the Raiders, whose quarterback Daryl LaMonica got injured after just 4 passes. This led to George Blanda, a player from the 1940s, stepping in as the quarterback in a 70s playoff game. However, it didn't go well, and the Colts advanced to the Super Bowl against the Cowboys. In the Super Bowl, the Colts had a tough time, committing 7 turnovers, the 3rd most in Super Bowl history. Despite winning with a score of 16-13, the MVP went to Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley, who even refused to accept it. Unlike the Giants and Patriots before them, the Colts had an easier path to the Super Bowl, facing teams with the 5th lowest win percentages in NFL history. However, the Colts showcased incredible talent with Hall of Famers like Bubba Smith and Johnny Unitas, proving their abilities despite the challenges. So, the question arises, which of these 3 NFL teams deserves the title of the worst Super Bowl winner of all time? The Colts may have had a challenging Super Bowl, but their talent and ability to get the job done in tough situations should be considered. If you enjoyed this video, your support through likes and comments is greatly appreciated, as it helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Thank you for being a part of our community.